Welcome back. Second part of this unboxing, October 24th, 2023, here in the Hotel Orloff, here in rural Retreat, Virginia. We're unboxing cool things that we just got in the mail from Gotham City Comics. I didn't realize the phone wasn't plugged in and I was running on battery power, and 30 minutes into the broadcast, it ended, ladies and gentlemen. So let's look at more stuff. Didn't mean for this to be a two-part episode, so I apologize. Here is a wonderful, not a big little book, but a better little book. Bugs Bunny, Risky Business. Some of these better little books apparently are just all comic book art. They are not like big little books. Here is what you may normally think of as a big little book. This is a more recent one from the 60s. The Flintstones, The Case of the Many Missing Things. This is the type of big little book I remember from when I was a kid. A big little book. It's the same company, actually. I guess they say big little books, and then the better little books. I don't know what the difference is, why one company was putting out different stuff, but this is the Flintstones. This is other books you could get from the same. Oh, look at that! They have space. That's quite amazing. Lone Ranger, Flintstones, Frankenstein Jr., Space Ghost, Aquaman, Doctari. I have the Space Ghost one, but I'd like to get the Frankenstein Jr. one. There's not much Frankenstein Jr. material out there. I've been watching Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles on our internetarchive.org, and then I realize, well, it's fantastic, incredible. Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles are everything that's wonderful and glorious about the 1960s together. The Impossibles, the rock and roll music of 1966, mixed with spy stuff, with superhero stuff. And then you listen as they're playing, you think, well, this music's pretty good. Did they ever actually release this music? And apparently they did. There's some songs you can find on YouTube. And then, of course, Frankenstein Jr. combines monsters and secret agents and everything fantastic. Yes, this is a very important piece of literature. Look at this. This is what I thought was cool. Is some kid back there and then put this sticker there. It says, "Vote for my friend the Trix Rabbit. Please ask your friend to vote for him too." These stickers must have been included inside Trix cereal, because the Trix Rabbit never always wanted this Trix cereal, and the kids said, "Silly rabbit, Trix are for kids." They had a competition. They had a contest. Should we let the Trix Rabbit actually eat the Trix cereal? And so apparently this person was voting yes, he should. Let's see here. The artwork is color inside. Could be the better little books for a budget version. I just don't know. Let's see. This Blondie is also a better little book. I love the colors on that. That reminds me of the colors that Marie Severin would use on the covers of EC Comics. And I was telling you last episode, I just won a copy from Captain Strangelife's of an EC comic book, The Haunt of Fear, from the Halloween show that was on Sunday night, the 22nd. So you can see that on Captain Strangelife's show. And I had some more of these in the last episode. If you'd watch that, you can see that. Now, I'll clear up a common misconception. Deborah Harry, the band Blondie, everyone thinks, oh, well, she's named after that comic strip Blondie because she had dyed blonde hair or whatever, and the Deborah Harry did. No color in this. That is not true. Um, in the days of CBGBs, the club in the Bowery, where early punk rock was starting, 76, 77, the American version of punk rock. There were the Ramones, and there were, there was Blondie. I mean, well, it wasn't Blondie then. Here's the thing. Johnny Ramone was collected World War II memorabilia, tons of it, and 1950s monster movie memorabilia. So he was talking about Hitler and his dog. Hitler had a dog named Blondie. And so Deborah Harry, Chris Stein, whatever, were listening to him go on and on about Hitler's dog. And they thought, well, let's name our band Blondie. And that's the true story from, and how do I know that? Because my friend Tom Ranoni was good friends with Johnny Ramone, and there's a lot of Ramones trivia that I know because it came from the source. In fact, my friend directed the video for the Ramones cover version of The Who's Substitute, which you can see on YouTube. So that's how I know these bits. And I used to have in my garage, a lot of my friend brought all this stuff back from Los Angeles to Texas, and he had storage units all around Dallas and Oak Cliff, and he had so much stuff. And then he was storing stuff in my garage there for a while. And for a while I had this TV set that you wouldn't give $1 for at a thrift store. Just an old color set that the type people throw out on their curb, they don't want the big. But that was Johnny Ramone's television set. How do you prove it was Johnny Ramone's television set? Well, my friend will tell you. I got it from Johnny Ramone. Of course, he's passed away. Well, my friend and Johnny Ramone. So I don't know what happened to the TV, but somewhere there's a TV in Arlington, Texas that once belonged to Johnny Ramone. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, well, let's look at some comic books because that's what you want to see, right, ladies and gentlemen? I got some comics and magazines also. Oh, I was about to test the glowing ability of Boo Berry when the camera shut off last episode. So let me put these books up. Whoa. And I still have my knees cracking when I stand up. I'm still having a little bit of problem with this arthritis issue. But I am doing overall better than I was about this time last week. So thanks to those of you that have prayed and all that stuff. Okay, so if you were watching last episode, you saw that I just got this Elvira on her couch, and I'll put her little dog with her, I guess. And then this is a garage kit I built back. She used to have a cigarette holder back here. It looks like it's still there. It's kind of broken off. It broke off in the move. This is a little miniature Barbie from the 60s. Look at that. You see that? I just put it there on her couch like she's playing with it. Okay, so what we were wondering is how well does this little guy glow? I just got him from Gotham City Comics, and so let's test him out. We were holding him up to the light. Let's get him all I'm starting to get hungry. All right, let's turn off the lights. Man, there's too much ambient light, but it does look like he's glowing. Oh well. Yeah, he's glowing. Hold on. We're going to try it again. This is a currently available Boo Berry. This isn't something from the 70s. Um, okay. Well, yeah, he's glowing. Yeah, he glows. You gotta trust me. So, fantastic. A new acquisition to the display of insanity, of total lunacy. All right, let's see what we got here in our comic book haul. So, how are you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me down below how you're doing. I really do care. It's not sarcasm. Okay, so this is a new facsimile of this issue that I don't think I have the original issue of this. This was, I don't think I do. I'll go check. Watch me actually already own this, but I don't think I do. We don't need to open that. Trust me, you know what that looks like. But it's facsimile. All right. Let's take a look at this book that I just received. This book's in pretty bad shape. It's from... It's belonged to John and Pete. This was John Lennon and Pete Best's copy. I just got it because I wanted to read it, man. I just want to read. I love the Metal Men and I love Batman, and it's just something I wanted to enjoy. I mean, I'm not one of these idiots that wants to send stuff off to CGC and is this a 9.8 or will this be a 9.6? Oh boy. I've been having a lot of fun lately watching Aquaman, and you can see Aquaman. Well, I have all the Aquaman on DVD, but the Herculoids, and it's all so great. Look at this wonderful stuff, and they had reruns of Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest was an early 60s Hanna-Barbera show that was a primetime show. And then he was put into reruns on Saturday morning. Just a fantastic comic book. I'm looking forward to reading. Oh boy. So how are you guys doing? Well, I drank a Dr. Pepper yesterday. I broke down. I don't drink coffee. I needed something to wake up yesterday morning. I haven't had any soda pop in a couple of months. I've been trying to avoid that. I guess it didn't kill me. And they say that which does not kill you only serves to make you stronger. Okay, here's another facsimile. This one is in stores today. It's a facsimile of All-American Comics number 16 with the first appearance of Green Lantern, the Golden Age Green Lantern, which the Golden Age Green Lantern is being destroyed by DC right now, but they have reprinted this book. This book has a lot of meaning to me. I'll explain. Of course, they have the ads, all the ads are reprinted. They put the UPC code here on the back, kind of hidden. It's a very thick book because it's Golden Age. It reprints the entire book, a little bit smaller than it would have been back then. This again came out today for stores that, well, DC Comics, comic shops are allowed to sell them on Tuesdays. A lot of comic stores, all the ones back in Texas that I went to, they'd release all the Marvel and DC new releases on Wednesday, um, on Wednesday morning. But you, this is actually on sale now, or you can get it tomorrow. This is the origin story of Green Lantern. Now, here's what happened. When I was about 5, maybe I was 6, we were living in Germany at the time. My mom bought me a record, and it was the children's label of MGM Records. It was called Leo the Lion Records, Leo Records, right? And they put out some superhero records. They had Superman, a couple of Batman ones with actors acting out the comic stories, and they were very well done. They weren't like the Power records in the 70s. The stuff from the 60s, it felt like it was old time radio, like it was really very high quality. Anyway, she bought me one that was The Adventures of Aquaman, Green Lantern, and the Flash. Um, the story on side A was a long story of Aquaman, and how he was, his father ran a lighthouse. He saw this woman on a raft in the middle of like a storm and rescued her, and then they got married, had a child, and on her deathbed she says, "I'm from Atlantis, and you must raise our son. He'll be someday he'll be the king of the seven seas." It was I loved listening to that story. On the B side, they had 2 stories. One was the Green Lantern origin, one was the Flash. But what I'm doing here, I'm going to pull this up. You can listen to this record on YouTube. I'll show you how. But on the back side, it's the origins of the Golden Age Green Lantern and the Golden Age Flash, and it's word for word from the original comics. So this is going to be word for word with this record that I grew up with. That was really my first introduction to comics. So let me go in. You can look up The Official Adventures of Aquaman, I guess, or I'll show you a quick way to get there. Okay. Okay, obviously you're on the Hotel Orloff YouTube page. I'll show you how. I just put this into my playlist. I've got 2 copies of the record. I later found another one in a half-price bookstore, and I bought that just because it had such a beautiful album cover. Okay, so here you are on the Hotel Orloff page. You go down, or maybe you don't. Okay, why is this not moving? Oh, wait, that's not how you do it. How did you? Oh, okay. If you go down, you'll see all these playlists, right? And I have different playlists of things. And there's one that says Music October 2023. So it's got all these songs you can listen to that I've been saving since October started. So look at this. There's some good stuff in here. Some Dracula Cha Cha Cha. Sang along with Children's Day at the Morgue. Sang along with Frankenstein. Yeah, you got to be checking out my playlist, guys. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, here it is. This is what the record looks like. The official. Uh-oh, got low battery. So this is The Official Adventures of the Green Lantern. Come on, what is Is this car? Oh, it's a commercial. They're putting more commercials on YouTube lately, haven't they? Oh, that's the Flash. Look at this album cover. Now they show the Silver Age Green Lantern and the Silver Age Flash, but what they do is like the Barry Allen's reading an old comic book. He's saying there was in this old comic book there's a hero that has powers just like me. I wonder how he handled it. And it's so they act out the. Okay, we got to get to the Green Lantern. I mean, let's see. This is the one we want.
And wherever there is a wrong to be righted.
All right.
The official adventures of the Green Lantern.
And so you'll see that it's word for word the text. Here.
The weird and exciting adventures of the man who suddenly appears out of nothingness. Whenever and wherever there is a wrong to be righted.
Yeah, it'll start falling.
Green Lantern. The origin of the Green Lantern begins years ago.
Okay, hold on.
Out in the Great Western.
Oh, here it is. Out in the Great West.
As a train makes a test crossing over a newly constructed trestle bridge. In the cab with his partner.
Hey, it's word for word now.
Engineer in charge of construction.
I tell you, Scott, I'm worried. Decker isn't one to take it lying down. He'll try something. He's dangerous.
It's great. See, it's just like you're listening to old-time radio. Anyway, this is a really cool facsimile book that you can get. That I wouldn't buy any of the other DC books, but I'm eating up these facsimiles. The Green Lantern of the 50s was, science fiction oriented. The original Green Lantern was more fantasy, like it was the powers of a genie, and the lantern would. I remember it was like 3 times shall I flame green, first to bring death, second to bring power. Second to bring life, and third to bring power. And it's like when it kills the second time, it causes someone that's polishing the lantern in an insane asylum to gain life by becoming sane. But anyway. All right, I don't know how much time I got, and I got to eat, so I'll just show you what I got here. Here's a cool Archie comic, Archie number 59. Oh, there it is. Listen to the lantern talking.
That penetrates into Scott's subconscious.
This is great. You gotta listen to this. It's had about 1,500 views. Anyway, well, that's what you can look. Here's the music from Mad Doctor of Blood Island. Look, see what you can get if you go to look at my playlist. See, look at that. I'll tell you somewhere else, if another famous YouTube person that you need to go to is Meyer Greenblatt. Look at his playlist. He's got great playlists, better than mine. If you're too lazy to discover cool things on YouTube, go to my playlist and Meyer Greenblatt. There's some other people too, but I like to look at Meyer Greenblatt's as much as as often as I can, because he's got cool stuff. And sometimes he'll have some of my shows in his playlist, and that's very flattering. I spoke with Meyer Greenblatt by text. He says he's doing okay, and it's like I was a little worried because he hasn't done a show in like a while, or as they say, a hot minute. Let's see. Boy, people are dumb, aren't they? Hot minute. What does that even mean? Okay. So this is not a facsimile, not fake, not hyperbole. Okay, I'm trying to put on Alex Jones. I got things to do, man. Okay, anyway, this is a beautiful copy of Archie, number 59.
Israel, which leads to nuclear war. Hamas-style terror attack in the current U.S. former FBI National Counterterrorism official warned. Hamas attack reveals a new
Here's a Charlton Flintstones comic. Charlton got the Hanna-Barbera. Oh, this is more recent. This has got a UPC code. It's from the 75-cent era. So through most of the 70s, Hanna-Barbera stuff was coming out through Charlton. Gold Key was doing it in the 60s, and you know, before that, Dell. This was a book I wanted, but it looked like someone had eaten a pizza on top of it. So Kevin sent it to me because just, you know, he knows I'll enjoy reading it. But CGC says this isn't a flaw. That doesn't technically count as a flaw. It's only on the front cover. It could have been some greaser, you know, like Fonzie might have fallen asleep reading this Jetsons comic, and that could be the grease from Fonzie's hair. I'm going to write it on the back. Fonzie's from the Pedigree collection of Arthur Fonzarelli. He fell asleep on this copy. Or I could say it's Elvis Presley's. Why not? Go all out. That's Elvis Presley's hair grease, man. Yep. Sure is. It's, what was it? The Greasy Kid stuff? All right, look. Look at this beautiful cover. Gunsmoke. James Arnaz, blazing six-guns thundered the finish at Trail's End. A Date with Judy. Now this was a radio show. Radio's famous coast-to-coast favorite that came out from D.C. This is based on not a TV show, but a radio show. So you could get on YouTube, and I'm sure you could find lots of episodes of A Date with Judy. Here is another DC attempt to get in on the Archie game. Harvey. Damn, I'm starving. Here's Star Trek. Again, that's my favorite Star Trek logo. To me, that should be the official Star Trek logo. I think it's so great, though. It's got the Enterprise. See that there? This comic came out while the show was still on the air. So to me, this is a very sacred, holy relic. Not to be blasphemous, but, you know, something that... There wasn't a lot of Star Trek merchandise that came out while the show was still on the air. It was not that popular a show with the masses.
That was the whole point, was it's a trap.
Fairy Tale Parade.
The only way to do it where they would not sustain just incredible levels of casualties. And again, people take a 14-second clip out of context.
Oh, look at this, man. Voodoo from across space. It makes its deadly mark on Earth. Eventually, I'll have all the Gold Key Star Treks, but it's taken me 50 years. I still don't have them all. It's not like it's that hard to get them all. Now that we have mail order and eBay, but back before there was the internet, it was kind of a hard thing to do. They weren't everywhere. Damn. This one's in pretty nice shape. Read how Archie treats his women rough. The mirth of a nation. Hey, Archie, I'm making out my new subjects. What do you think is easiest to take? Girls. This is a pre-code Archie. America's largest selling teenage magazine. This is what Harvey Kurtzman was making fun of when he did the Archie parody in the Mad comic, the EC Mad comic. He even did a parody of this logo. Approved reading. See, what was his name? John Goldwater, not Barry Goldwater, but the guy that ran Archie Comics. I think his name was John Goldwater. He was always proud. These comics are wholesome. And he put this approved reading thing there, and then he later was the guy, one of the main guys that spearheaded the Comics Code Authority, where the stamp that you remember always in all the comics saying it's approved reading, and he wrote. He had a big hand in writing the actual code and what was not prohibited, what was prohibited and what was not allowed in comic books from 1955 on. And a lot of the things he wrote in there were directly aimed at EC because he was so pissed at Gaines and Feldstein for half the time I say Feldstein, half the time I say Feldstein. It's, potato, Tarzan, whatever. But anyway, he did not like them. He did not like that they had made fun of Archie and that they were, and he, because Will Elder redrew, or Harvey Kurtzman had Will Elder redraw this symbol where it was like a brain damaged person in the middle with their head all out of shape, as I recall. You've seen that parody a million times. It's great. Well, since it's Halloween here in a few days, it's going to probably be snowing on Halloween here in Rural Retreat, or at least the day that Halloween is observed here. They all, the community here, they don't necessarily celebrate it on Halloween night, which is the weeknight. They always seem to celebrate it the Sunday before, Sunday night, and it's all regulated. It's like from 5 till 7, so you know when the trick-or-treaters are coming. They're not gonna like have a surprise trick-or-treater at 9:30 at night. Okay, pretty much at 7 it stops. So I don't mind that, and it's just that it's supposed to snow, 50% chance of snow. Okay, here's Magica Dispel, who started in these comics about the time that Vampira was on the air on local Los Angeles television. And, of course, Vampira was not an original concept. Mila Nurmi went to a costume ball in Los Angeles dressed as Charles Addams, the lady in Charles Addams cartoons. Charles Addams had been putting in the New Yorker these single panel cartoons where the dad looks like Peter Lorre and the mom kind of looks like Carol Borland from Mark of the Vampire, and then the butler looks like Boris Karloff in This Old House, and they were just this macabre family. And of course, they didn't have names. That's why I said the woman in the Charles Addams cartoons. And then in 1964, when the TV show was put on based on those Charles Addams, because everybody knew the Charles Addams cartoons, they were part of culture, pop culture. They decided, okay, what are their names going to be if we do a sitcom? And they got Charles Addams to come up with names. And he said, Morticia. He wanted to name the son Pubert, but the ABC people said, no, come up with another name. We can't use Pubert. So he came up with Pugsley. So the names, and then they gave them the last name Adams based on the cartoonist that created them. It would be like, Charlie Brown having the last name Schultz, based, because Charlie Brown was supposed to be Charles Schultz as a little boy. He even had the same first name. But anyway, so I think she's based on Vampira, and of course Vampira was based on Charles Addams, and Charles Addams was based on a myriad of vamps from the silent movie era. Oh, this is a new comic. I don't normally buy new comics. I guess I'll open it up just to see, because I just saw it in a preview, and I said, Kevin Johnson of Gotham City Comics, you got to order this comic. It's Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, a comic that's been wonderful for 70 years. were longer, old Fiction House comics, and she was on TV in the 50s. But I thought this cover was just great. This is like something from the pulp days. So, and the artist's name is there. But usually these modern comics, they'll trick you, as you know, with a great cover and terrible art inside. I think someone was telling me, could have been Eric Breen, that the art inside is not bad. So let's check. Man, it's like a full page there. It kind of looks like Barbie. See, that's the thing about these new comics. There's hardly any words. It's like they devoted a full page to her riding a horse. I guess she's becoming civilized here. Yeah, the artwork's actually not as bad as most of these new comics. Let me see here. Let me see. I don't want to be too hasty here. Oh my gosh. Jehoshaphat. What? What is going on here? Why are they putting all this gore in a Sheena comic? I'm referring to this. Look at this. It's like this guy is shot through two people's throats. I don't know, a lot of blood in this book. Yeah, I guess the art's not very good, but I bought it for the cover, which is a stupid thing. Now, all this is going to end. I mean, it's all going to end this year, within a few days, within a few hours. We're about to... Do you realize what's about to happen to us? Far worse than what happened during the pandemic. I mean, we're about to go into... This could be a nuclear war. It's all right, but we aren't going to be buying comic books for the covers much longer. We're going to be trying to figure out how to buy bottled water and food. This is an Elvira comic. This is a photograph that's existed for years. They used to use this for the Elvira calendars back in the 90s and 80s. But again, another book I bought for the cover, and I know it's not what you're supposed to do. But sometimes I break even my rules. Kevin bought a collection of Flintstones stuff, and the guy had saved this page from a women's magazine with the Fruity Pebbles tree. So he sent it to me free because he knows I'm the only person in the world that's insane enough to be happy receiving that free. Anyone else would think, why is that? I think it's cool. Okay, so this is the new Vampirella clone that is very good Vampirella. There's a comic book out called Vampirella that Dynamite puts out that does not evoke any of the feeling of reading those old Vampirella magazines in the 70s to me. That is completely alien thing to me. She's got pointy ears. This looks like an actual James Warren Vampirella magazine. In fact, they hire original artists, the ones that are still surviving. This is San Julian, who was one of the original Vampirella artists from 50 years ago. So, and the ads for the back issues look just like the ads in Vampirella. I mean, this is designed for people my age that remember this stuff. They made it look exactly like the old books. I mean, exactly. It's like, it's pretty uncanny, though they do recreate it pretty well. Yeah, this has that feeling. It's like, sometimes you can, people care enough, they can, there's people out there that have bands, like there's a band called the Surfragettes. It's an all-girl band from Canada, and they do Ventures-style surf music, and it sounds pretty authentic if you put it on your turntable. It feels like it's 1965 again. And
And then myself personally,
people that care about the past can recreate it. And this is
not that group, but other groups. So this is part of the course.
one of the new issues, or I think there may be one out since then, but this is Monster Bash, which is from the same people that put out Vampirist Carmilla. They also put out a magazine called Shudder that's made to look like the old Creepy magazine. This book is obviously made to look like the old Famous Monsters of Filmland. And now there's a new magazine made to based on one of my favorite magazines from back in the 70s and 60s called Castle of Frankenstein. They just put out a new issue this week, and I got to contact Kevin. He's got one in my hold pile, and have that, pay for that and have it sent to me, because that's exciting to me. Except it has color in it, which Famous Monsters didn't really ever have color, and it's on super slick paper, but it's got reviews of DVDs. That's good. They're trying their best to destroy physical media, but we can't allow that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the back issue with all the Monster Bash issues, just like Famous Monsters did. I mean, it's right. And then there's back issues of Shudder and Vampirist Carmilla. I mean, they really, and then the new toys they make that are made to be like old 60s toys. Like, these are kind of based, they're not exact, but they're made to kind of resemble this 1960s Soki toys that were made like different pop culture cartoon figures, in this case monster figures. Man. Yeah, it's made to really evoke the feeling of, oh man, look what we missed, Monster Bash. It was just 2 weekends ago, but that would have required going to where? Pennsylvania. Man, so much fun. So much fun, ladies and gentlemen. There's an ad for Gotham City Comics in here. I wonder where it is.
Trump, they're saying the election was stolen, which is totally true, but even if it was wrong, he has that First Amendment right. So that's where we are. Brutal intimidation, brutal attempt to take over the country. And if America rolls over, things are going to be a lot worse for everybody. So the only course is standing up. So it's very simple. I didn't know that listeners would buy.
Vote for Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
We declared bankruptcy over a year ago. And we saw revenue go down massively. And then I sold everything I had, and we got a big donation.
I was just.
We didn't know we'd get, or we'd have been gone. Because people believe, even though I said it's not
I spoke with the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills again, and he's doing well. He's not quite ready to come back to YouTube, or maybe he says everything's great, because now where he lives is all organized, because before he'd have to tear everything apart to find stuff to show on on his show, and he's really happy with how clean everything is. And but yeah, he may come back. Oh, here we go. Here's his ad, and this little girl in the hot rod. I provided him that clip art. It was on the back of a Rat Fink record album in the 60s, and I always thought that would be great. I think if Kevin designed a t-shirt with that image big, with that logo above it, I mean, wouldn't you want to wear that shirt? I sure would. If he designs a shirt like that, I'll wear it on every episode. I try to mention his store on every episode because it's so phenomenal. And
And let me just tell you something. The shirts came in a few weeks ago, and we always show
yes,
the other
indeed.
collector's edition shirt that's not the actual mugshot. And the actual one of the mugshot is a really cool orange
Okay,
gold shirt.
so
Really stands out. So whether we do this live on air right now or later in post, there it is.
that was a pretty good haul.
That's actually it. So those are limited edition at InfoWarsStore.com. We have the InfoWars.
Is it 7 o'clock yet? What is it? 6:30. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm starting to look bad, man. The dark stuff under my eyes. Oh, look at Alan is sleeping on the couch, just like Vampira and Elvira.